Buongiorno. I love Bella Italy. The delicious food, intimate culture, diverse landscape, and the sauciest language of them all. But it's hard to plan a trip to Italy that's not super touristy. If you want an Italian trip more on the relaxed side but still affords you all the amazing culture with gorgeous coastal views, then you should seriously consider a road trip around the heel of Italy. Allora. So the numero uno thing to know, the southern tip of Italy is what they call the boot of Italy. Because if you look at it on the map, guess what it looks like? On this adventure, we're road tripping through the heel on the boot of Italy. On one side of the heel is the Adriatic Sea, and the other side is the Ionian Sea. But who really cares about all that? It's just water. This part of Italy is definitely slept on in comparison to the more ultra-touristy cities like Rome, Florence, Naples, Milan, Venice, and the list goes on and on. Less tourists means more chill, and to that I say grazie. You can also tell that it's not extremely touristy because most people you meet speak minimal English. I can't tell you how many times I said, "Lei parla inglese?" over that weekend. Actually, I can tell you, 83 times. So you can make this road trip work with trains, especially if you use Italia Rail. I put the link in the description. But for freedom of schedule, I just booked a rental car because I literally had no plans except the first night's accommodation. After flying into Bari, which is the best airport to fly into for this trip, I drove straight to Polignano A Mare, a town on the Adriatic coast whose economy depends mostly on tourism, agriculture, and fishing. So I spent the first day exploring the maze-like old town of Polignano, which is the center of the commune. After getting lost a bit, I visited the cliffside beaches and grottoes, and it's gorgeous. Crystal blue transparent water and edgy rock formations. I'm jealous of their cliff jumping and swimming culture. They obviously just do it every day for the hell of it. I wish I grew up here. They weren't really social distancing and all, but that's cool. The next stop on the trip was the hilltop village of Ostuni. This town is known for its whitewashed old town right at the top of the hill. It's truly a beautiful sight as you're approaching the city, and you get a great view of the surrounding beach and towns from the top. In the city, it seems like a pretty modern Italian town with a lot of restaurants, bars, and stores, except it's extremely hilly. I stopped at one really good restaurant called Ristorante Porta Nova in Ostuni, and it did not fail. A must-hit spot on the way down the coast, even if for just a few hours, is Roca Vecchia. This town is an archaeological site on the Adriatic coast, and everybody visits for views and waters like these. This water was heavenly to swim in, and once again, just viewing the culture is enough to make me wish I grew up in a culture in an area like this. Plenty of cliff jumping into the ocean, and there's actually a few grottoes, which are these naturally formed water-filled caves that end up being pools for the people who dive in. There's an area to walk back out once you're in there. Once COVID's over, we're gonna dive in. Santa Maria di Leuca, often just called Leuca. Now this town is where those two seas, the Adriatic and the Ionian Sea, meet. The town is known for its lighthouse, which I was too lazy to visit, but it looked pretty sweet from below. The town was so warm and had such a good local feel to it that I just decided to stay 2 nights here. I spent most of the time stuffing my face with delicious food, and I'll put the links to my favorite restaurants below. It's an extremely walkable city, and I roamed over to the southernmost tip, the Punta Ristola, and it was as beautiful as any other spot I visited. It's a spot that you can just lay around for hours if you get the right shade, which I didn't have. Aside from eating, the one thing you have to do in Leuca is get in the water. I'm not big on tours, but I took a boat tour to all the caves and grottos and it was absolutely incredible. I can't lie, I was the only non-Italian on the boat, so they were struggling to explain everything to me. But I'm not much of a history buff, so I didn't care. And they did try. I got to know a lot of good people, and the boat stops every few minutes for you to jump out and swim to the caves or just swim around the boat, or you can just stay on the boat. I met a couple good Italian folks, and they swam out to the caves, and it was pretty dope. Well, once you're at the bottom, there's only one way left to go. The drive back up the Ionian coast is just as dope as the Adriatic was. Once you've had enough water, make your way to the national park Alta Murgia. I caught wind that somewhere in this national park is an octagonal castle just sitting at the top. After a short hike through the woods, I came up on this 13th century citadel. Castel Del Monte is the name of this castle, and it's unsurprisingly a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which described it as a unique masterpiece of medieval military architecture. You do need tickets in advance to get into the castle. I don't plan enough for that, so I was denied entrance, but it was worth a visit for the hike through the national park and the view of this gem. To wrap up this trip, we drive back to where it all started, Bari. I was only in this city for 2 hours, so not enough to explore, but from what I saw, it's much more modern and urban. A much younger population and beautiful beaches, but also much more crowded and busy. I prefer the other towns to spend my vacation relaxing, but I could see Bari being the move for a more upbeat party-style vacation. I did have some bomb-ass carpaccio here though. The heel of Italy is an amazing choice for a relaxing 4-day coastal road trip. It was enough time to eat, explore, swim, eat, drink, hike, and did I mention eat? It's slept on in comparison to many cities in Italy like Rome, Naples, Milan, and Florence, but to me that's more reason to go. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, like and share this video and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. It's Afro Wonders, y'all. Stay tripping.